let's talk all things flow, power and truth. So we've got the free workshop, which is next Tuesday at 4 p.m. GMT. If you haven't got your spot on that already, we are going to be anchoring in flow, power and truth. And I want to talk about why this is important today. And something has been coming up. So I've just come off the most beautiful, grounded, nurturing breathwork session with my clients in the Quantum Queen membership. We do breathwork every 6 weeks. And this is always an opportunity to deepen our connection with our bodies and what needs to be released. And one of the things that I spoke about in there that's been coming through, which interestingly, I've had a few situations on this theme that have come through for me over the last few weeks, and even something that happened yesterday, which potentially could have impacted me not actually coming live and talking about this, but I've decided to choose differently and to choose to show up anyway. And I always know what I am experiencing and what I am seeing on this micro level, and what I'm hearing from clients, what I'm hearing from friends, what I'm hearing from everyone out there at the moment is that this theme is consistent through everything. So everything that's happening on a micro level is also happening on a macro level. And this theme is power dynamics. So we all know, right? And you'll resonate with being a leader of the new paradigm, here to usher in a new age, here to walk the path that no one else has walked before. You're here to show others a more nurturing, nourishing way of being in the world. And this, what comes with this responsibility of walking the path, especially for those of us who have been, our ex-people pleasers, we've overcome toxic empathy, what we're actually doing is we're taking our power back. And as you take your power back, this is going to trigger people. So I am a peaceful warrior at heart. In the past, I always, tried to create peace, tried to make peace in family situations, and avoided conflict like there was no tomorrow. But what I have learned is with the courage and the bravery and the gentle courage and bravery that comes with being a leader of the new paradigm, it comes with this other side of that, which is that we will sometimes trigger people, especially when we move into our power. So what you'll start to find is you may have areas of your life already where you're very firmly anchored into your power. So perhaps in your business, you're very much like you're the authority, you're in your power, people feel that power and they want to be in your spaces. But it might be that another area of your life, you're not so much in your power, okay? So as we start to go on this evolutionary journey into our power, into our truth, those pockets of our life where we've not been in our power before, where we've not been in our authority before, that is going to trigger people. And it is the triggering others that I have found really difficult on my journey. I actually had a situation which happened yesterday where I really triggered someone. And, for the peaceful run from conflict version of me in the past is like, oh, maybe we just stay small and quiet and we don't trigger people. But it is unfortunately part of the journey to our power and to our truth. So we're seeing this power dynamic play out right now on a macro level and on a micro level. So the collective energies right now are coming in, and I said this to the ladies in Quantum Queen when I did the energy update this week for December. The collective energies right now are coming in like a constriction. So even though it's the holiday season and we've got this kind of theme of like giving and giving to others and being in the festivities, which on the surface of it should be an expansive energy, but actually when we dig away at this, what is coming through is constriction, what is coming through is fear. And it's really easy to see those energies and feel they are ours. So let me know, like pop a 111 in comments. Are you feeling the collective energies at the moment? Are you feeling them come through? Are you feeling this constriction energy come through? And what December is calling us to do, which is why I'm actually running, as well as Flow, Power and Truth, which is my free workshop, I'm also running a workshop called Self-Devotion in Quantum Queen later this month. And what the December energies are actually calling us to do is to say, I see the constriction, I can feel the constriction, I can feel the falseness of this holiday season energy, I can feel the overlay of that and actually see the constriction underneath that and see and feel that collective energy. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling this like collective, like rushing around, like have to get everything right for the holidays, and also like this fear of January. Like, what is with this fear of January? Like, it is the winter. We are meant to be going within. We're meant to be cozy. We're not meant to be running and rushing around buying loads of things at the moment. So the two themes that came through in the energy update are around this expansiveness and self-devotion. And this, which I'm going to teach you in my bridge method in Flow, Power and Truth, where I'm going to teach you my bridge method, which is going to help you to anchor into your flow, your power, your truth, your authority, and what you are actually here to do on the planet, away from the external noise and anchoring back in your truth and who you are. So this came through loud and clear, that when we are feeling these energies of constriction, we have to override the brain, because the brain is wired to protect us from harm. The brain will naturally look for threats. That's just the way the brain is wired. So when we feel this constriction energy coming in, it is no different to a tiger attacking us. The brain doesn't know the difference between a real or imagined scenario, a real or imagined feeling. So if we feel these collective energies and we make them mean something, that is no different in the brain to the tiger attacking us. I feel the constriction and therefore this is mine. And I then even start to, like if this gets too far, act according to that constriction. So this is why we need to have that mindful awareness of, I feel this coming in. I feel this is not mine. I can be in the world, but not of it. And then I can choose. So what choices are you making for expansion and self-devotion? I posted earlier today and said self-devotion is the biggest gift that you can give to others. And I'm smiling because I put psst and my autocorrect changed it to PS tits, which was hilarious this morning. So that gave me something to laugh at and others something to laugh at. But seriously, self-devotion is the biggest gift that you can give to others. So it is noticing these constricted energies and asking, how do I expand? How do I invest in myself right now? And this might mean financially, this might mean energetically, this might just mean like cozy with a blanket. That might be expansion for you, that self-devotion devotion type expansion energy. But there are methods that we need to have in place to anchor in, to work with our caveman brains, to actually flip that script so we're on the front foot in terms of the neuroscience. I have a background in psychology and positive psychology. Neuroscience is my bag. So we need to get that brain. We need to remember that we're all humans. We all live in a 3D world and we all have human brains. So when we're working with energy, we need to remember that human aspect. It is not enough, and this is where integrity comes in, which I'm going to be teaching as part of the bridge model as well. It is not enough to just work with energy and just work on that energetic level without actually considering what is going on in the human brain. So we need to work with the brain. We need to work with an understanding of neuroscience and tools like positive psychology to anchor in our power. It is not enough to just say, all right, I'm just meditating and I'm bringing this high vibrational energy. I'm just doing energy healing. I'm just doing energy clearing. We really have to bridge that gap, the bridge again, between the science and the spiritual. Like, the reality is 3D. We live in a 3D reality. So how do we navigate that in the best way whilst holding that highest timeline and knowing in energy that it is done, knowing that this whole world is created by energy, but not denying it and not denying that the way that our brains need to work. And this is also a place of integrity. And with that integrity comes power, because we're doing what we say we're going to do. We're looking after our brain. We're being consistent with our habits, with our morning practices and things like that, our exercise, our healthy eating. This is the holistic piece. And we're looking at as well, like, where am I on that ladder to regulation? And this might be different. Again, as I've said, you might be in your power in different areas of your life. You might be at different stages in your power of taking your power back. The same with regulation. You might be super regulated in your business and you're doing calls and you're working in your business with ease in that really regulated state. But it might be that you're with your family and you go into more of a flight response. Okay, and we can see that flight response with, like leaving events early, like feeling like, for me, this would literally be like, I feel like there's a fire, like, where's the fire exit? Okay, and then we might move through that into fight, and this is where we start to stand up for ourselves, we start to set boundaries, we start to say no, and this energy can be quite fiery because we're not used to it. Okay, and it takes a little while to get used to that, and we're transmuting our shadows. We're working with our shadow self, we're working with our shadow gifts when we're in this space, and that can feel a little bit foreign to us because we're not used to doing that. And then we move into what I call the firm boundaries, open heart space. Okay, so we can't go from I'm in freeze and I'm dysregulated to regulation, and we can't skip the layers. So you may find that you're in a different place of power and a different place of regulation in different areas of your life, and wherever you are at is true for you. And another piece I want to bring in here is authority. And this was the situation that I was faced with yesterday, which thankfully I have the emotional regulation tools to deal with this and still, be able to deal with that, hold that, and still show up today. And I know I needed to deeply go through that. I'm also a 3-line in human design, and I know I needed to go through that to fully understand these energies and what is going on collectively. And I know that experience that I had is simply a mirror for the collective. And that experience was that I was in an interaction with somebody in a place of integrity, in a place of complete and utter authenticity and an open book. And that person did not hold me at my authority and continued to push and push me and push me through several no's. So I'd said a firm no. So it actually started with some gaslighting. So first I was told what they told me, what they thought my body needed. Then when I said no, then I was pushed again. Then I said no, I was pushed again, I was pushed again, and I was pushed again. And this is not the first situation over the last few weeks where I have said no to somebody and they have continued to push, okay? And, you know, that old past version of me would not have even said no and probably would have just gone with it. Then I would have found a way to flight from the situation. Then I probably would have come in really fierce and fiery and said, like, that's it, I'm done. Whereas now it's like a more of a regulated no. Or in some instances it might be a yes and. It might be a yes and I feel some truth in what you're saying and I feel like this. But what I was faced with yesterday was the realization, and I mean I knew this, but I hadn't fully embedded this meaning behind this, that not everyone is willing to hold people in their authentic truth. And this is a huge value of mine, and this is why I became a coach, for this exact reason. And this is ultimately what sits underneath coaching. The integrity that sits under coaching is your client is resourceful and whole. They have all the answers inside of them, and you are there to hold space and ask them powerful questions to get to their own truth and authority and power. So this is a huge value of mine, and this situation I had yesterday, like majorly clashed with my values because I was being gaslit. I was being told my reality was something else. And when I was saying, and this was with somebody who on the surface appeared to be quite conscious. So first I was gaslit, then my no wasn't on it, then my second no wasn't on it, then my third no wasn't on it, and then later on I even got an email where my fourth no wasn't on it, okay? And that was like a really tough situation, but I know I can navigate that with ease now and have those emotional tools and have those somatic practices to move through that. And I know that this is playing out on the world stage right now. I know this is playing out collectively. There is this huge, we're being shown right now where there is a power imbalance, and we're being invited to make a choice. So are we going to make a choice to go back to that dysregulated state, or go back to a lapse into people pleasing? Or are we going to make the choice to say, no, I'm going to be in my power, I'm going to hold myself through that no? So many of us would stand up for someone else, right? If we see, like, my fairness value is huge. If I see something happening or someone hurting an animal, like, I'm there, okay? And we do this for others so easily. We will stand up for others. But, like, are you willing to make that choice to stand up for you, to stand up for your no, to stand up for what your body truth is telling you? And then choose accordingly what situations you're in, what groups you're in, who you spend your time with. Are you spending your time in places of integrity? Are you spending your time with people that hold you at what is true for you? Or are you spending your time, and you might also be inviting this, are you spending your time out of your power where you're inviting advice, you're asking everyone what they think, you're sharing something with a whole WhatsApp group of friends before you make the decision? Or are you showing up in that space of power and authority? And this is where coaching can really help us, and this is why I love coaching and I love my coach, because coaches will hold you in that space of your power. Genuine coaches will hold you. I don't know what this is, but it's some kind of power symbol. That coaches will hold you in your power, in your authority. So this has been one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you, is to only share with those that can hold you at your authority. So I know how easy it is to want to vent, want to moan, but how many of those people come back and offer you advice or tell you what happened to them? Don't get me wrong, like, I do that thing, and I am very conscious of that, where I'll share something that I've been through, like, as a form of, like, I get you, like, I've had that deep experience. But ultimately, you are the authority. The power comes from you. So are you diluting that power by being in spaces where you're not held at the authority, by sharing things with people, or maybe even asking for advice, instead of being held? And this is something that is so important to me. And if you're the type of person that's like, I just want to be told what to do, then my spaces probably aren't right for you. But if you want to be held in your power, your authority, and your highest timeline, then that is the work that we're going to do together. And I've talked a bit about coaching, but I haven't talked about healing. So this is another thing, right? This is why I trained in quantum healing, because quantum healing is so expansive and covers all layers, all levels, past life, your Akashic records. Like, quantum healing covers all levels. And in those sessions, and so many of you took up my birthday offer, so those of you that have had those will know, in those sessions we might receive information, right? And this is a tip for anyone watching this who channels information or uses their intuition or maybe does readings. Here's something for you, is like, how much do you receive that information, and then ask someone if that is true for them. So I was doing a quantum healing session this morning with the most lovely lady, and I said, okay, what I'm feeling is this, what's coming through is this. How does that feel for you in your body? Does that feel true for you? And this is the issue. This is why women have come out of their power. This is why the coaching industry and the spiritual business industry is the way it is, because so many people are caught in that trap of looking for answers and receiving that spiritual guidance without actually tuning into, is that true for me? And sometimes we just need someone to hold that space for us that says, what is true for you right now? What do you need right now? What is your body telling you right now? Because that is true power, is meeting ourselves and is meeting others where they are at as well. That is what changes the whole world, because when we do that, we allow people to be on their own timeline, we allow people to be on their own path, be on their own journey. And as we rise in our power and we shift our vibrational frequency, others, the tide rises all boats, others will shift to meet us there, or they will vibrate out of our reality. And again, that is a place of power, holding that, holding your power, holding your no, holding your boundary, no matter what. So we're going to be going deeper into this next Tuesday in my free workshop, Flow, Power and Truth, where I'm going to be teaching you the bridge method. There'll be, it's going to be on Zoom, so you'll have the opportunity to come along, ask questions, get support as well. And we're going to be really anchoring this in. So this is why this workshop is Flow, Power and Truth, because of what I am seeing, what I'm hearing, what's coming through at the moment. I'm responding to that. So I want to go a little deeper and support you with this journey. And I've just done a breathwork session over in the Quantum Queen membership, which we really anchored this in. So if you are feeling like, I would really love some support to like step into my power, into my authority, into my truth, send me a message, comment below, come join us in Quantum Queen. They're the most incredible ladies in there who will support you and support you in your authentic truth. Or ask me about working with me one-to-one. I have just 2 one-to-one spots at the moment. So the choice is yours, because I'm honouring your power and authority, whether you want to come and join us in Quantum Queen, whether you want to come and work with me one-to-one, where we can really anchor this in deeply in a way that really works for you. And of course, we've got the free workshop next Tuesday, and the link is in the title on this post. So I will see you there. Any questions, let me know, and I'm sending you all lots of love. Bye for now.